In the quiet hum of suburban life, where the rhythm is set by lawnmowers and distant school bells, my home holds a different kind of order. Beneath the surface of comfortable clutter, a system of readiness lies in wait. Tins of beans are stacked like soldiers behind the cereal boxes, water purification tablets sit next to the sugar, and first aid kits are tucked away in nearly every room. This isn't paranoia. It's a practical acknowledgement that the world can turn on a dime. That evening, as I watched the weather report, the dime began to spin. The meteorologist's voice, usually a soothing drone, took on a sharper edge as he detailed the once-in-a-decade storm barreling our way. It was time that I moved with a practiced calm, a quiet energy filling the house. The rhythmic slosh of water filling the last of the storage containers was a comforting sound. I plugged in the power banks, their small lights glowing like digital fireflies, and went from room to room, securing windows and drawing the heavy curtains, turning our home into a fortress against the coming wind and rain. The first sign was a flicker, a brief, stuttering gasp from the lights that made the shadows dance. Then, with a final, apologetic hum, the power died, and the world outside the windows vanished into an inky, roaring blackness. Absolute darkness descended, thick and suffocating. But for me, it was not an end, it was a beginning. A click and a beam of light sliced through the dark as I switched on my headlamp. The static-filled crackle of the hand-crank radio soon joined the howl of the wind, a lifeline to the outside world. The sudden loss of modern convenience presented a series of small challenges, not a crisis. Dinner was a simple affair, chili heated on the small camping stove, its hiss a defiant sound against the storm's fury. By the warm, steady glow of a battery-powered lantern, I laid out a well-worn board game, the roll of the dice a small, familiar comfort in the tempest. The next day, I peered through the rain-streaked glass, checking on my elderly neighbors, a quick wave to let them know I was here and okay. Boredom was the biggest enemy, a creeping sense of isolation that I fought with books, with organizing my supplies, and with the simple, methodical tasks of survival. By the 72-hour mark, the initial sense of adventure had worn thin, replaced by a weary tension. The relentless storm had finally passed, leaving behind a world of silence and stillness. The canned goods were starting to look monotonous, the silence in the house was becoming heavy, and a flicker of doubt entered my mind. Was all this preparation enough? The frustration was a cold knot in my stomach. I pushed it down, focusing on the next task. My water containers were getting low. I took a deep breath, collected the rainwater that had pooled in the clean top I'd set out, and began the slow, meticulous process of filtering it. Watching the cloudy water drip, clear and pure, into the bottle was a small victory, but it felt monumental. It was a reaffirmation of my self-reliance. Later, I saw a neighbor clearing a fallen branch from a sidewalk. Another was sharing battery packs with the family across the street. We were all isolated, yet we were finding ways to connect, to rebuild our small community with quiet acts of kindness and shared resilience. Then, it happened. A hesitant flicker, a low hum from the refrigerator, and then the blessed, brilliant flood of electric light. The house was illuminated, chasing away the last of the shadows. The television blared to life, a sudden and jarring intrusion of the outside world. As the neighborhood slowly stirred, the familiar sounds of civilization returning one by one, I stood in my living room, a profound sense of accomplishment washing over me. It wasn't just about surviving, it was about thriving. The blackout had been a test, and I had passed. I looked around at my supplies, no longer just a collection of items, but a testament to foresight and capability. I felt a deep gratitude for the comfort and security they had provided. As I watched the streetlights wink on, one after another, I knew this experience had solidified a core belief. True strength isn't about weathering the storm, but about being ready for it long before the first clouds gather.